Bonjour, bienvenue. Aujourd'hui, c'est le jeudi 4 mars. Donc, les objectifs. I can look at apartment listings in French and identify key information. I can interpret those listings and use them to make a choice in renting an apartment. So these are things that hopefully you can do in French. And if you can't, we'll see, we'll kind of work through that together a little bit today before then introducing Unit 4 standards and starting with Unit 4. OK, donc d'abord un petit rappel et puis un échauffement et puis une activité de lecture. On va passer peut-être la majorité du temps à travailler en classe. Ainsi, vous aurez moins de travail à faire à la maison. We're going to spend quite a bit of time today working on this reading activity in class so that you have less work to do at home. When I make time for these activities in class, it's really, really important to take advantage of that time. And if I get the sense that it's not effective for folks, I can stop doing it. But I want to offer it so that you feel empowered and it's not as intimidating. So I'd like to continue doing it, but if folks don't find it effective, we can definitely spend class time differently. OK, et puis ensuite, je vais vous présenter très brièvement module 4, donc unité 4, et puis pour demain. OK, donc un petit rappel. Si vous n'avez pas encore rendu votre enregistrement, faites-le vite, s'il vous plaît. So there was a recording that was due Monday, and I'm still missing a recording from quite a few of you. So please do turn that in. I look forward to hearing y'all. We did spend some time in class working on it, so hopefully you didn't have a whole lot of work to do at home outside of class. And yeah, voilà. Si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à me contacter. OK. Donc, un petit échauffement. Tu cherches une colocataire ou un colocataire. OK? Imagine que tu vas vivre dans un appartement. Imagine que tu vis dans un appartement, tu habites dans un appartement et tu cherches un colocataire. Tu cherches quelqu'un qui va habiter avec toi. OK? Quelqu'un qui va habiter avec toi. Donc, un colocataire. OK? Donc, tu cherches une colocataire, un colocataire, une personne qui loue avec toi. Qui est ton locataire idéal? Qui est ta colocataire idéale? OK? A, B, C ou D? Oh no, I don't have a D as a possible answer. If it's D, I guess you just have to put it in the chat. OK, donc quel est ton colocataire idéal? A, B, C ou D? Et je vais lancer un sondage. A, B, C ou D? Quel est ton colocataire idéal? Donc, s'il vous plaît, répondez. Please go ahead and respond to the poll. Qui est ton colocataire idéal? Oui, and there's one person in the chat. The question means roommate. That's correct. Colocataire, somebody who lives with you, who rents with you. Colocataire. So who is your ideal colocataire? OK, merci. Très intéressant. On a 10 votes, donc 10 personnes ont voté. 2 personnes ont voté pour D, Bob l'éponge, mais les autres 8 personnes ont voté pour Pikachu. Hein, donc, vous êtes 8, vous êtes la majorité à choisir Pikachu comme colocataire. Ça risque d'être un peu violent des fois. D'accord. Personne n'a choisi Penny ou Peppa. D'accord. OK. Bon. Passons maintenant à l'activité de lecture. L'activité de lecture. Donc hier, je vous ai parlé de cette activité, appartement à louer. Appartement à louer. OK. Hein? Hier, je vous ai parlé de cette activité où vous allez regarder les annonces et choisir un appartement. All right. So if you have not already, hopefully you already have, but if you have not already, go ahead and click on the link in your Canvas page for French 2. This document will take you to a link to a Google Doc that you'll want to make a copy of. All right, so first off, you want to make a copy of it and change the name so that your name is part of it. And we did that yesterday, so hopefully that's already done. If that isn't already done, you'll want to do that quickly. If you already did that, go ahead and please open up your document with your name on it that you're editing. Okay. And then go ahead and complete this first activity, these first two activities for avant de lire. So take a quick look at the listing. So click on that link. So this link in the document, Les Annonces, that'll take you to some slides with screenshots from a French website listing apartments to rent. So you'll want to look at those very briefly. And as you're looking through, think, okay, what information would you expect to find in here? All right, and underline, or you could even highlight, if you prefer, you could highlight the information you might expect to find. And then identify 2 or 3 things that are important to you in an apartment, 2 or 3 things that you want to really look for, that you want to prioritize. So let's take about 5 minutes or more. I'll check in with you all in about 5 minutes and see where you're at. And if most people are about done with that, we can move on. And I'd love to hear some of your answers. Hop. Ok, très bien, très bien. Oui, donc on a identifié des choses qu'on va chercher peut-être dans un appartement. Donc le prix du loyer, la superficie, peut-être les pièces, combien de pièces dans l'appartement. Ok, donc maintenant, commencez à regarder de plus près. Commencez à lire les annonces. Okay, à lire les annonces. Et chaque annonce a une numéro, je crois, ou une lettre. Donc appartement A, appartement B, etc. Et votre budget, c'est entre 350 € et 650 € le mois, okay, par mois. Donc, vous devez trouver un appartement qui est dans votre budget. Okay? Donc, en lisant, essayez de trouver 2 ou 3 annonces qui sont dans le budget et 2 ou 3 annonces qui vous plaisent beaucoup, qui sont intéressantes. Okay? Qui sont intéressantes. So as you read, you'll want to answer 3A and 3B and kind of keep those in mind, right? Right. OK. Et après, après avoir fait 3A et 3B, après, faites 4. C'est à quel étage? Quelle est la superficie? Est-ce que c'est meublé, oui ou non? Et vous pouvez surligner, you can highlight, for oui ou non. Les charges sont incluses dans le prix du loyer. Les charges sont incluses. OK. So let's take another 5 or 6 minutes to go ahead and do this. It may take longer than that, but I want to get you started, and I'll check in about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'll answer questions. I'm here to help you answer questions. You're not going to understand everything. I want to send you into this reading with the expectation that you're not going to understand 100%, but what I'd like to see is how can you put information together to kind of understand the essential, right? So the idea is not to understand 100%. The idea is to understand the essential so that you can make a decision. And that's really the part that I'm most interested in. Okay, so go ahead and take 5 minutes. I'll start a timer and I'll check in after 5 minutes. If we need more time, great. If we don't, we can move on. Ok, très bien, on va continuer. Donc, faites bien attention à bien répondre à ces questions. Ok, faites une liste, à faire une liste, 2 ou 3 annonces qui sont dans mon budget d'abord, et puis 2 ou 3 annonces qui me plaisent beaucoup. Hein? Et peut-être c'est la même liste. Et après, à trouver des informations, à trouver des renseignements. C'est à quel étage? Quelle est la superficie? Est-ce que c'est un grand appartement? Est-ce que c'est un petit appartement? C'est meublé ou non meublé? Et enfin, les charges sont incluses, oui ou non? OK. OK. Donc, module 4. So, unit 4. So, in our Canvas course, what I've done is I've gone ahead and updated module 4 standards and to-do list, and I've published it. So you can find this information in our Canvas course today. And we'll go ahead and start module 4 tomorrow. I'm still building out the activities packet. I'm nearly there. Yeah, and again, the activities packet, it's something that I really want to make available to you because I know that these can come in handy moving forward, even beyond French 2. All right. Okay, so in Unit 4, you'll be able to use the preiterite. By the end of the unit, you'll be able to use the preiterite. So it's the past tense. I did to describe a vacation I took in the past, or what I did yesterday, or like last weekend. You can use various constructions to express negation in a sentence in the present tense. So we'll do a little bit of work with negation. We'll see with the time that we have, I'll definitely be focusing mostly on the past tense and talking about stories and stuff. So hopefully we can go over negation at least in passing. All right, I can understand a text message from a friend about last weekend. So again, trying to keep this as relevant as possible, trying to keep it really real life, right? So what are some real life situations where you might need to understand the past tense or use the past tense to talk with a friend? I can read a simple text in French and understand the major events ideas. So there we're talking more about stories. And that's really interesting because we can talk about sequencing. I am always super stoked to help y'all make this foray into the past tense because it opens up your expression so much, right? There's a lot you can do with the present tense, but once you start learning how to use the past tense, it just amplifies. It's like doubling how much you can say about yourself in French and what you've done. So I'm really excited for y'all to get introduced to that. You're not going to master it, right? But the idea is by the end of this quarter, you'll be familiar enough with it that you can use it a little bit here and there. You'll have some kind of expressions in your pocket that you can pull out and use. All right. And this to-do list will change as we move through it, as I develop assignments around this. But the Unit 4 activity packet, you can count on that. And then En Vacances is going to be the name of a few different activities you'll do on Canvas around this. And I'd like to have an activity where you kind of read, interpret, and discuss a simple story in French with your classmates. Discussion's tricky right now with hybrid learning. But I want to try to figure out a way to make that work. So yeah, so this is just module 4. For tomorrow, what I'd like you to do, and I'll go ahead and exit out of this. So I'll give you a sneak peek at the activity packet that I'm still building out. I know it's really exciting. All right, so I'm still working on this. But for tomorrow, what I'd like is for you to, what I'd like is for you to think about a vacation you took in the past, or a vacation that you'd like to imagine having taken in the past, right? And I won't have you complete this activity yet because it's part of the packet, so you'll complete it once you get that packet. But I'd like for tomorrow for you to start thinking about different vacations you've taken, or maybe a vacation you'd like to have taken in an imaginary situation. Okay, and we're just thinking in English right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use your stories to then introduce you to the past tense, to this passé composé. It's called the preiterite. All right, and I'd really like to hear your stories so that it's relevant. So this could be a real vacation that you took, or it could be an imaginary one. If you are really not inspired, or you can't think of a great vacation you took, and you can't think of an imaginary vacation you took, think about maybe a time when you felt really proud of yourself, or recently you accomplished something and you felt really proud about yourself. All right, and we'll kind of come back to this and work on this a little bit tomorrow to get started with Unit 4. So with the last minute or so, I'm trying to find my cursor. There it is. Boop. With the last minute or so, what are some questions you have for me about the unit that's coming up?